So I saw this video on social media, and so I see a lot of videos on like hooks and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Like, do use this hook, use that hook, and this guy is kind of taking a different approach. So I wanted to get your take on it.
Okay.
My YouTube videos are not very edited. They take me, and this is not a lie, 40 minutes to edit. From idea to sitting down and filming to video being published with title, thumbnail, everything, it's like 2.5 hours. I do it after lunch on Friday. My mindset on YouTube is, even though yes, I'm probably losing the monkey brain people that need stimulation every 2.5 seconds, I would rather build an audience of people that are willing to click on my video, sit and watch it, than a group of people that need to be tricked to watch through the entire video. Because the kind of people that need to be tricked to watch through the entire video are probably not going to buy your products. At the expense of quick growth right now, you probably want to focus on building a really good audience around something that's reasonably easy to make. What would your dream business look like? Like, my dream YouTube channel would look like it takes me 2.5 hours to make a video, not it takes me 11 hours to plan, 2 hours to shoot, and then my editor's 2 weeks to edit. That sounds like a fucking horrible business.
What did you think?
So I think it's interesting. I think, first of all, visually, when you watch, if you're watching, the video is very pretty. So like, as in, he knows what he's doing with the video, so it already looks good, which already captures your attention.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a crappy visual, it just doesn't really hook you in.
Right.
And then also his audio is really good. So he has several things already going for him that help hook people into his videos. But if he's talking about his specific YouTube channel, I do think it's interesting, like him pointing out, like, I don't want to have to trick people. Like, maybe this is how I see it. So if he's building a personal brand and his business is his personal brand, I think that's very different than selling a product, because he's kind of selling himself. Right. So if he's like trying to trick people by selling himself or a version of himself, I think we see through the fake, like it's not authentic. And so we can see through that. And so maybe that's what he's trying to say. So he's trying to say, hey, like, my product is me, my YouTube channel. That's how I make money. And if I'm not authentic, then it doesn't, like, then I actually get less traffic. I get less sales because people don't want to dive in as much. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I don't have to do all these tricks to get people to watch, because I'd rather have the people that sit and stay and that are actually invested in what I'm doing.
Right.
And I think that actually makes sense. I think if you're a business selling a physical product or a digital product, I think it's different.
So when I first heard this, I was like, yeah, no, that's good. It kind of takes some pressure off of me a little bit, you know? Yeah. But I think where he's doing everyone a disservice, and nothing against him at all, I think he's talking about a level in the funnel that's very specific. I don't think he's talking about acquiring new customers. I think he's talking about, or I say customers, let's
like
say
top
subscribers or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
Right.
I think he's talking about people who have already found him, have determined that he's valuable, and are willing to sit down and watch his long form content, right?
Well, he did say YouTube, so that does make sense, right?
So YouTube, but even with YouTube, you have to play the hook game to get people's attention the first time.
Yeah.
After the first time, they're going to sit down and watch.
Yeah.
But when you're competing so much for attention on social media, YouTube included in that, right? Like, you are competing for attention and you only have a couple seconds to hook them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just going to move on to something else that's entertaining.
Yeah. And I feel like YouTube Shorts, which I don't think that's what he's talking about. I think he's talking about his long form content.
Yeah.
But YouTube Shorts and also Instagram, those are different. I mean, you can see in the video the way he sets it up. Even the first things he says kind of makes you intriguing on what he's talking about. So he kind of does these things. That being well, and then in the middle of the video, the middle of the video, he's like, "Yeah, I don't want people to have to be tricked into, monkey brain." And then it switches to like AI videos of like that, which is a hook to keep you stimulated in there.
Right.
So it's like
he's kind of contradicting himself a little bit.
But I think it's because, and I don't know if he is, because if he's specifically talking about his long form content, which it sounds like that's what he is doing, because he's talking about like 2.5 hours to shoot it and edit it and stuff. That's not a short form content. That's a long form content thing. So if he's specifically talking about long form content where you're really trying to build a community, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't apply when it comes to Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Reels.
Right.
I don't think that's the same. And I don't think he does either, to be fair.
Right. And that's
from his video.
Right. That's what I want people to take away from that.
Yeah.
Like, is that he's talking about something that's very specific. He's not talking about everything. Like he's, you know, I don't want people to be like, oh, I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
You know, but if you don't do it, you're not going to get new people to find you.
Yeah, right.
New people won't give you a chance unless you give them a good reason to.
Right. And I think so for his content on Instagram is probably to filter people to his long form content on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So he's going to make it hooky. So you go like, oh, I wonder what I want to see the full conversation of what he just said.
Right.
Like,
and I also want to see the thumbnail to the video.
Right. Oh, that's a good point. And we should see that too. Because that's interesting as well. Because that thumbnail is going to be catchy. That's the whole point of thumbnails. Thumbnails can make and break a video. Mm-hmm. And so he's going to work on getting you hooked.
Right.
But I do understand, like, he's like, I'm not doing a jump cut every second on my long form content. I'm not doing that.
Right. And if he's teaching people how to do something, like, they're going to sit down. Like, once you get their attention, they're going to give you more of a chance.
For sure.
And you're not going to have to do the constant, like, waving stuff around, flashing like colors and jump cuts, like you were saying.
Yeah.
You know, like they'll actually sit down and pay attention because they value you as an expert in a subject.
It sounds like he does kind of this digital marketing space, or he shows you how to do visual, like editing videos and audio. That's where I assume.
I don't know, but
and if that, it's like you're teaching somebody how to edit, you're giving tips. Like you don't need to do this because they're actively coming to you to look for whatever topic that you're on, or if they subscribe to you, they want to see your new updates on what to do in Adobe Premiere, like that kind of stuff.
So there's definitely nothing wrong with creating non-entertaining.
Yeah, it's
content,
educational stuff is fine. And that's where he's funneling people to so he can get ad money from YouTube, and that's how he makes his money.
Right.
Like that's I totally makes sense.
But you got to get him interested first.
Yeah, for sure. So. Thanks for listening, guys. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment below on if you agreed with today's topic, disagreed with today's topic. Let's start a discussion to figure out the best practices to grow your small business.
Please visit us at launchingpros.com, where you can find more information on how to grow your business as an entrepreneur.